What really happened in Belgorod, Russia? Who were the forces who invaded over the border? In this video, we'll look at almost all of the footage that has emerged from that area in the last 24 hours. It's all fresh, and by the end of it, you can make up your own mind what was going on. One is clear. Forces from Ukraine have crossed the Russian border and occupied some areas. Let's look into it. On the 22nd of May, footage started to appear of fighters using Western tech like Humvees crossing the Russian border. Like, we have a video of the actual crossing. And then an organization calling them Svoboda Rossiya or Russian Freedom Legion releases this video. This comes out about 15 hours later, after all of the footage came out. So at the time there was a lot of question marks. Who were these guys and what was going on? Let's watch it.
Мы такие же россияне, как и вы. Мы такие же люди, как и вы. Мы хотим, чтобы наши дети росли в мире и были свободными людьми, чтобы они могли путешествовать, учиться и просто были счастливы в свободной стране. Но этому нет места в современной путинской России, прогнившей насквозь от коррупции, вранья, цензуры, ограничений свобод и репрессий. В той России, где жизнь человека значит меньше, чем кошелек чиновника. В той России, где прокладывают отдельную железную дорогу в резиденцию бункерного деда, вместо того, чтобы отремонтировать дороги в регионах. В диктаторской стране, где за призывы к миру детей разлучают с родителями, а подросткам дают пожизненные сроки. Но диктатуре Кремля пришло время положить конец. Спасибо всем тем, кто поддерживает нас, кто отправляет нам донаты и курит там, где надо.
Курит там, где надо. Well, smoking carelessly, as we all know, it kills. And Russians have been known to smoke carelessly. I think he means Ukrainian drones and artillery as the support, smoke where is needed.
Ваша поддержка – это то, что каждый день напоминает нам о нашей финальной цели на Красной площади. Будьте смелыми и не бойтесь, потому что мы возвращаемся домой. Россия будет свободной.
We're coming home. So these guys are Russian, the part of Svoboda Rossiya. They're Russian fighting under the armed forces of Ukraine, but they're not Ukrainians. So at this time, internet was filled with speculation that Ukrainian forces have entered Russia and this is in breach of the rules of engagement given by the West. But Ukrainian officials lifted up their arms and said, we don't know nothing about it. It's not us, it's not the Ukrainians. And by law, they're right. They are Russian citizens with Russian passports fighting in Russia. You can call it a civil war, actually. And then a bunch of videos started coming out one by one and everybody was in awe of how Svoboda Rossiya fighters were able to cross Russia so freely. There was no opposition. And the opposition that was there was destroyed. On this video we can see Svoboda Rossiya units driving unopposed into a settlement, and the building you see here is a school. Of course, school was cancelled. I'm sure the students are very happy about that. The main thing is they just drive on full throttle on the roads and there's no one to oppose them. On this photo we see the forces that Russia is supposed to have in the area. That is a lot of forces, and if they would be in the area there would be no incursions over the border. But these forces have been minced up in Bakhmut. Russia never thought anyone would dare to attack it, because it's Russia, it's a nuclear power. This is why they don't put forces on the border. I'm sure if the Finnish would think of taking back Viipuri, you know, the big city they lost to the Soviet Union with the 11% of territory, they could do it. I'm not giving you any ideas, Finns, but think about it. In this video we can see Svoboda Rossiya convoys, Humvees driving in the Belgorod area unopposed. There was no ambushes, but that's not it. Then a video emerged of Svoboda Rossiya fighters capturing Russian equipment. We're talking about a BTR-82. And it's obvious in this video that they don't even know how to drive it, because I guess they haven't had a training with it. But the fact that a force less than 100 fighters can do this, I cannot fit it in my head. But let's watch the video.
Я, потому что тяги нет. Говорил мне батя, иди на тракториста учись, блядь. Я нет, пошел в военный.
Пиздец, трофейный БТР-82А.
Okay, I will pause and you already know, but look at these roads, these small holes here. This, in Russia, it will not be fixed. Of course, roads are like that in Ukraine also, unfortunately. But the thing is, you cannot really... Imagine you have a car, you have just a sedan in Estonia, how is a passenger car, driving on this. If you go over like 40 miles, 50-60 kilometers an hour, you will break your suspension. These small holes will destroy your car, and all of the roads are like that, except for Moscow and St. Petersburg's vicinity. So it is Russian roads. BTR, of course, has no problem with those roads.
АПСБ Российской Федерации. Украина.
Hey.
Работает РДК.
At this time, when this video came out, you know what started to happen? People started calling this Belgorod People's Republic. I'm not kidding you. Like, using the same weapon Russia used in Donbass in 2014, they took some areas with separatists and called them People's Republics. Of course, they're not going to do this. Even the Svoboda Rossiya fighters are not going to do this. But people did it online, and I love it.
Благодарим шайбу за то, что смог проехать. Это было непросто.
And bear in mind, by now about 24 hours even have passed since the Svoboda Rossiya fighters crossed the Russian borders, and there is no official response from the Russians. Military bloggers on the Russian side are going crazy. Hey, why is the government not reacting? This is an attack against Russian Federation. And then we get this video that all the insurgents have been destroyed. It's a video coming from the Russian side. Let's watch it and I'll open up some details about it. Russians published this video saying that they have retaken all of the areas, destroyed the insurgents and remanned the border. And this is the destroyed equipment of the supposed Svoboda Rossiya fighters. Now, I would call this a fake. Of course, I don't know how they did it, and perhaps it is real, but I have a feeling it is fake. It all seems too much planted for me. Just casually filming all of these destroyed vehicles, no bodies, no equipment, nothing, just these vehicles. If you have any other evidence that this is fake, put it in the comments, please. This is just my hunch. I cannot really prove it to you. But these are Ukrainian vehicles right here. I'm just saying that they're from another spot. At the time, I felt like this was fake when it came out. Some equipment on the ground. And then a few hours later, when Russia came out with this video and the whole world was watching and thinking, okay, this incursion failed, it was a bad idea, Svoboda Rossiya made a counter-information video, and this proved to me and all of other watchers that this was fake. In this video we can see Svoboda Rossiya fighters returning from their occupied post back to Russia. Actually, they claim they're going back from some areas. They occupied a lot of three different areas actually, and these fighters are in a very high spirit. If they really would have lost these vehicles like we saw on the Russian side video, and they would have lost fighters like that, they couldn't have made this video being all happy and high morale. The mood of these troops tells me the Russian side video was fake. Around the same time, first photos of destroyed Russian equipment came out. On these photos we can see Russian Ural truck and a towed artillery piece destroyed. Also, they captured a BTR-82, and also a helicopter was shot down in the same area around the same time. Now, we cannot make sure if it was the Svoboda Rossiya fighters who shot it down, or if it was a Russian blue-on-blue fire incident, which happens quite a lot actually. The main point is, all of the Western media and Russian media was talking about this incursion and was publishing these photos of destroyed Russian equipment, helicopters shot down. Think about the media influence this had, and it put Russia in a very bad spot. They reacted very late, and with a video that is not easy to believe. Now, after Svoboda Rossiya put out this happy cheering guys video, Russia reacted again, and this time they sent their general Lapin into the location. Lapin was previously taking part on this war, but he was eliminated from his position and switched because he was critical of the Russian Ministry of Defense for conducting this war poorly. Well, now he was sent directly to the location. And the video is ridiculous. Let's watch it. So this video is a counter-information from Russia to everything that Svoboda Rossiya has put up. With this video, the Russian side claimed that everything is under control, everything is fixed. The insurgents have truly been pushed out because look, here is General Lapin. This is Lapin. We have some troops running in the background, right? And he's giving instructions. It is meant for the Russian people, for them to believe that we have a general present and he's leading the operation. I mean, if there was real fighting against Svoboda Rossiya units, you wouldn't see a general walking on the road giving orders to infantry squads himself like that on a camera. I mean, these are probably conscripts, because Belgorod is filled with conscripts nowadays. They didn't even put active army units there because they never believed Ukraine would attack. I'm calling these are conscripts, and Lapin was just called to make this propaganda video for the Russian people to eat up, to ease the panic, because this is ridiculous. Give some more orders, Mr. Lapin. Micromanage the squads, please. I mean, this squad is moving in battle formation, keeping the distances like they're clearing a road. And then there's a general walking without security. This is a real active battle situation going on in Belgorod, my friends. This is ridiculous. So, forward, 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 he's saying. These are obviously conscripts, look at them. It reminds me of my own conscript times, actually. He just says "За родину," which means "Вперед, forward, forward, за родину," for homeland, for motherland, basically. I mean, they're trying to look like this is some "Ura, let's take back motherland" operation. There's no gunfire, no artillery, and the general is walking without security, micromanaging. For me, this is incredibly ridiculous. But for some Russian population, I guess they will eat this up. When this video came up, people had a bunch of questions, media had a lot of questions, air was filled with speculation, and then finally a next video comes out a few hours after this one, and we get a representative of Svoboda Rossiya giving an interview to the media, giving us answers that we need. Let's watch it.
Опять-таки, мы знаем, что у российской армии не самые профессиональные вооруженные силы, хотя и считали второй армией мира, но вы уже давно поняли, что это блеф, да. Периодически артиллеристы или ракетчики путают координаты. Не так давно доблестные путинские «Соколы» уронили 2 бомбы на Белгород спящий, вот, и к нам даже белгородцы обратились с просьбой провести миротворческую операцию на территории области, потому что, конечно, им надоело, их бомбят вот так на ровном месте, вот, поэтому...
Официально обратились в Легион Свободы России?
Да, написали письмо с просьбой провести миротворческую операцию на территории Белгорода.
So Belgorod people, I guess, you know, pro-Ukrainian or anti-Putin people wrote to the Svoboda Rossiya leadership to conduct a peacekeeping operation. And Svoboda Rossiya previously posted in their telegram that they were attacking Russia, attacking and occupying this territory to create a demilitarization zone in Belgorod, buffer zone for the Ukrainian people and also to liberate Russia. I'm not claiming truth on any side here, I'm just showing you the information and giving my view upon it, and you can make up your own mind which side you want to believe, because I don't know what is the truth here, I'm just following the information.
Можно детали просто. Что подразумевается под словосочетанием миротворческая?
Демилитаризация Белгородской области. Люди устали от войны, они хотят мира.
When I saw this, I couldn't stop smiling. This is too good. This is right out of the Russian playbook, actually. You know, local people wanting to change, like in Donbass and Donetsk, making people's republics. We're tired of war. This is Svoboda Rossiya trolling the Russians. This is what I think. We have now gone through the most important footage of what happened in Belgorod. Now I'll give you some of my own thoughts about the entire thing. On these maps you can see the 3 locations that were occupied or are still occupied. By the time of making this video, I get footage of these forces still being present, but I get some indication also that some forces are retreating back to Ukraine or just ending their incursion or raid. By the time this video goes out, they might have left the positions already, and this is what I want to tell. This is in no way a long-term occupation. This is a raid, a short-term incursion, a testing of the defense of Russian border, testing of the strength of it. It was never meant to be a long-term occupation. This is what I think. Because Svoboda Rossiya has no means and no manpower and no weapons to do any kind of long-term incursions. They're perfect for this short-term, and for the fact that they got so much media coverage and that Russia didn't react and showed their weakness and showed how weak their border areas are. This is a great information victory and media victory already for Ukraine. I think this was the goal of it. And if they still occupy the areas, it is because Russians really haven't reacted properly. If Russians bring some forces, active military forces into the area, Svoboda Russia will pull back, but then it's again Ukrainian victory, because then Russia takes away forces from Ukraine, because any reserves they have are occupying Ukraine right now, and anything they bring into the area is from Ukrainian fronts, making it easy for other units in Ukraine. So whatever happens or has happened with this operation is a resounding success. Russia has already lost initiative about this. They have lost the media image about this operation. Their areas are being occupied as we speak. 24 hours after this incursion happened and the footage came out, Belgorod Oblast declared an anti-terrorist operation in the area and started evacuating people. There was huge convoys of cars leaving the areas. And then an order came from Moscow: stop the anti-terrorist operation. We sent General Lapin, it's gonna be fine. So Moscow wanted to quiet this down because it's a huge embarrassment. Anti-terrorist operation was happening only for one day in the Belgorod region, and then it was cancelled, and the Svoboda Russia fighters were still present. So you can see how Moscow wants to go about it to quiet this down, not to talk about it because it's embarrassing as hell. I encourage you to make up your own mind with the information you have seen from my channel and from anywhere else. Both sides claim absolutely opposing stories. What is clear that on the information front, Russia is a clear loser here. Prigozhin claimed in the last video he published that he will pull out Wagner from the war zone, from Ukraine in general, by the end of May. He has made empty promises before, but he has a few days left. In this video, he is actually talking quite reasonably, which is quite rare for Prigozhin, but this is why I want to watch this video. I think now that he's pulling out, he can allow himself to speak freely about the things, how he sees them.
Сегодня, я думаю, что украинцы сегодня это одна из сильнейших армий. У них высокий уровень организации, высокий уровень подготовки, высокий уровень разведки.
Yeah, I mean, this comes from a guy who has fought against Ukrainians for 1 year actively, most heavily. I think he has the most experience amongst the Russian commanders because he has been there. He has seen how his troops die through the hands of the Ukrainians. This is spitting truth right here. I think Ukraine is one of the most experienced, I'm not saying powerful, but experienced armies in the world, because no other army is fighting so actively in the world right now. So when this war is over, Ukrainian officers will be teaching all over the world, all of the armies, especially in the United States.
У них есть различное вооружение, и более того, они работают на любых системах. На советских, на натовских, на чем угодно, одинаково успешны. И они абсолютно философски относятся к тому, какие потери они несут. У них все идет ради достижения верховной цели, как у нас в Великую Отечественную войну.
I am very surprised about this video. Prigozhin analyzes it like I would see it right now. Yes, for Ukrainians it is like the Народная война for Russians, the 9th of May, Den Babed, you know, Second World War for them, for Russians, is like a religion right now. It's Putin's propaganda religion. And he compares it to Ukrainians. Yes, I just came back from Kiev from the second time. It is like the awakening of the people there. I wouldn't say it's a religion, but people feel Ukrainian. They're on the streets wearing Ukrainian colors. They're proud about what they are. They have a goal in this war. And Prigozhin sees it. I didn't know he would see it. I agree with everything he says. It's weird.
Но более технологично и более четко. Поэтому вот то, что сегодня мы получили с демилитаризацией украинской армии.
Yeah, his talk has really changed ever since he was allowed to claim victory over Bakhmut, allowed by Putin, I guess, and now allowed to pull out if he will pull out. Maybe he got his praise and is going back to Africa, and now he can speak freely what he thinks about the situation. Yeah, being active commander and try to take Bakhmut, you cannot say that Ukrainian army is the most powerful army in the world. It wouldn't fly, but now it's fine. Lukashenko, the dictator of Belarus, was rumored to be poisoned from 9th of May. He looked very sickly and he hasn't been seen since. And then there was one public appearance and it was rumored that this was fake. Well, now this mystery has been solved. We have a video of Lukashenko going back to his old clownery. I think you're gonna love this. Let's watch it. Lukashenko, public appearance, not sick, very well, ready to be the dictator, ready to carry on being a Belarusian dictator.
А если кто-то думает, что я умирать собрался, успокойтесь. Успокойтесь. Это не больше, чем досужие рассуждения в мессенджерах и телеграм-каналах. Какой там у меня, аденовирус или что там было?
Ну да, аденовирусная инфекция.
Аденовирус, ничего. Караник улыбается, лечится 3 дня.
This is like the supreme leader of a country and talking like that, and I love how serious these guys are listening to him. Because in Belarus, you say anything against you, go to prison, you go to jail. I talked to some anti-government Belarusians in Ukraine when I was in Kiev. Yeah, this regime is brutal as the Russian regime. This is a clown. Prigozhin at least has some analysis. This guy here, I mean, I can really imagine there's a monkey clapping like that inside his brain.
Но поскольку у меня не было возможности лечиться, то надо в Москву, то в Ленинград, то еще там субботники, то в Гродно. Попер ты меня на площадь, обнимались с тобой там с этими девчонками. Потом в Гомеле, в Крупко. Все это накопилось. Поэтому умирать я не собираюсь, ребята. Вы еще мучиться со мной будете очень долго.
You will suffer with me for a very long time. Yes. That is the real situation. These guys are suffering with him. The entire country is. He knows he's very unpopular. He's only standing because of Russia, because of Putin. Russian forces are in there. Russian nuclear weapons will be in there. Belarus is now very much responsible for the war in Ukraine as Russia is. So there's no way Lukashenko can be separated from responsibility. He knows it. He doesn't have a way back. Yesterday we saw a very funny video showing also how stupid Russian propaganda is. It really works only for the Russians. Putin invited an old cartographer showing him a 17th century French map to prove that Ukraine did not exist back then. And Putin and the guy both agreed, yeah, Ukraine doesn't exist because it's not on this map. And then there's a camera zooming in, and for the Russian people it ends there because, you know, they don't know any better, they believe like sheep. But you can clearly see on the footage showed that there is Ukraine written on the 17th century map. So they brought the wrong map. They brought the real map, I guess. Or they forgot to change it. Or they thought the Russian people don't read French and they would never understand. But it says Ukraine in the Western alphabet letters. Also Crimea belonging to the Tatars, which were deported from there. So this is a huge blunder. But I guess they don't care because the Russian internal propaganda, Russian people will eat it up like sheep. But for the Westerners, this is a high-level clownery. My friends, now it's time to thank the Patreons. My channel can keep on going thanks to the Patreons, and I want to butcher 5 of the new names every day. Well, now we actually don't have 5 new names, but 5 of the old names, I guess, then. I mean, if you're gonna want to give me new names, then you become a patron of the channel. Links in the description below. Here we go. Naret, Dave, J.M, Knut de Kreat, Jeff Ridenour, Kevin Butket. Thank you to these 5 people for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. If you're a Twitter guy and you like to read your news in a very short, compact version, then my Twitter account is in the description below. 3 times a day you get the most important news about Ukraine. Some footage I cannot post on YouTube. I post it on Instagram. Some gun content or what my travels to Ukraine, for example. My Instagram is also in the description below. Until my next video, my friends. Slava Ukraini.